guys, and welcome back to Art a la Carte. This is part 2 in my 5-part series on coloring hair with colored pencils. Kind of a cartoony, more beginner's style of color penciling. If you haven't seen the first video where I colored this girl here, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box and you can click on that, check that out. I would recommend that you do that because I cover a lot of the basics in that one. And yeah, so let's get started with the next one. Just want to please again remind you guys I am not feeling well, so my nose is all snotty and plugged, and so that's why my voice sounds weird today. I apologize. Not that my voice ever sounds really normal. I have a weird voice. So today we're going to be doing this girl right here, so let's get started. So for this girl here, I'm going to be doing kind of a dark black hair and kind of show you how you get your highlights and shadows with that. That can be kind of tricky at first because you're thinking of black hair, you're just going to use a black color pencil, and then what do you do? Because you can't get any darker than black, so what do you do? Well, let me show you. I'm actually going to go ahead and start with my black on this one, but when I color it, I'm not going to color the whole thing. I'm going to first start off with my shadows, and just like we did in this girl up here, you're going to find places that you want to push back and things that you want to pull forward, and the things that you want to push back are going to be shadowed darker, and the things that you want to pull forward are going to be lighter. So like underneath this chin here, I really want that to be nice and dark because I want it to kind of go in behind the face. So I'm going to kind of just draw in right to this lock. I'm going to fill this all in with some nice black color here. Okay, and then for this, I don't want just this little white strip here, so I'm going to now gradient this out. Using a lighter pressure all the way out. But you're noticing I'm leaving this little strip of white. It's what we call a rim light. It's going to help to pop those two out. And we're just going to leave this for that way for right now. I'm going to continue back here. I'm going to add a little bit of darker coloring here to push that hair behind. And then I'm going to gradient that out. I'm going to push this dark back here to go behind the ear, but stop at this line that's coming out forward because I want to pop that out. So nice and dark right under there, and then gradient this out underneath. I'm going to again pull from that line here on her little kind of wisp hanging down by her face, have this really dark there, and then gradient this out here to this point. And then I'm going to add a nice kind of triangular wedge right here. So it's going to be nice and dark in here. And then I'm going to gradient this out. Okay. Lastly, I'm going to just put just a little bit of a dark wedge up there, which I'll gradient, and a little bit right there. Now what I want to look for is my definite whitest, kind of where the highlights are going to be. And I'm going to very lightly with my pencil, almost so you can barely even see it, draw out where I want my highlights to go. So I want this rim light, and then I want a shine to come across her hair right here. So I'm going to just, with this kind of medium tone here, just fill this in up to that point. And just like in the first one, we're going to look for places where the light is going to hit, and that's going to be the closest places, and then it's going to fade off in places that are farther back. So another place the light is going to hit is right up here. So I'm going to draw this kind of squiggly line, and I make it squiggly because the hair is a little uneven. You know, it's not smooth and flat like plastic. So it's this nice little triangular wedge as it's wrapping around. The shine's getting bigger. And I'm going to fill this in with just this medium pressure on my pencil. And if there's any other place that I want to add highlight, I'm going to kind of scratch that in as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and just go and fill in this color with just this really, really smooth, light shading of color. And again, if you want to move your pencil in the direction that the hair grows. So I'm not going to go side to side, not going to go diagonal until the hair is actually moving in that direction. You want to follow those strands. So if there is a flow to your pencil, it's going the way that you want it to go. I'm going to leave a little bit of rim light towards the top right there. Alright, so there we have her hair, but it's definitely not done yet. So now I'm going to go and sharpen my pencil again. You want a nice sharp point for this part, because now you're going to begin to add in the texture. And you're just going to flick your pencil along for adding just a little bit of in-between shadows. This is going to give you a little texture to your hair, not make it look so flat. It's going to give a little bit of texture. So you notice I'm not coloring in a flat base color like I did here. On this one I want to show you how to get a little bit more of that hair kind of flowing down. You'll see I'm just kind of skiffing the pencil across the hair in the direction that the hair will be growing. And I can bring that up into the shine a little bit. That's okay. I just don't want to cover up the entire shine. But see how this is really not very hair-like. It's just a kind of a blob. That's because we want to go ahead and just very carefully flick the pencil up. It's going to take a lot of control on your pencil. So, practice this method out. Take a picture of a whole bunch of heads and just practice shading and highlighting. Don't try to tackle this, on your Mona Lisa piece, because you just, it might not turn out the way you like it the first, second, third, 10th time that you do it. So, get these little practice sheets, practice these out. I'll have a link to this if you haven't yet printed this out yet. I'll have a link to where you can download this photo on my Facebook page. So if you'd like to actually try it on this piece itself, feel free to download that and just practice away. You can print it out as many times as you need to. Keep practicing. So just flick, flick, flick. So you'll see the hair is parted here, so these hairs are going this way, and these hairs are coming down this way. And you just keep playing with it until you get it to the point that you like it. Now, most black hair is not strictly black, so if you want to at this point, you can take a really dark color that you want a highlight to be. I'm going to use a little bit of brown, and I'm just going to flick a few flicks of color in there. And that's just going to kind of give it a little bit of life, a little warmth. Using just straight black is kind of, sometimes will deaden your pictures out a little bit because there just isn't any warmth in it. So by just putting just a little bit of a color to that, can kind of help pop that out. Sometimes I'll add like a blue or a purple if I don't want to warm it up. If I still want to keep it kind of cool but add a little bit of life to it, I can do that as well. So we have 2 of these done. It just takes a little practice, a little work, but I definitely, it's something that is definitely worth the time and effort put into it to practice it. I'll be having a few more other videos where I'm going to be doing these last 3 pictures here. Again, if you haven't seen the first one, definitely check that out. I'll have that listed in the description box below. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye!